Masinda is out and about monitoring movements around the city, of course, as this lockdown commences this very morning. Ronald, good to have you back. I mean, you had a conversation with the MEC of Transport. They're talking about, issues around Santaco, of course, raising their grievances of non-payment. But right now, though, I just want to know in terms of, movement as well as activity, are Capetonians abiding, of course, by these strict regulations?
Well, judging where we are, to me, in Langa, they are certainly not. And Langa being the oldest township in the Western Cape, people are still grappling with a basic necessity, to me, without being with water or sanitation. And this has really deterred many people here in the Western Cape who are saying to me that they cannot really take lockdown seriously, given that they are still grappling with the basic necessities. We're going to move over to speak to a few people who are here at this residence. They have to walk kilometers. We spoke to some of them saying that they have to walk kilometers just to fetch water, as they've been without water for many months now. And it's a real issue that I also flagged with Alan Winde, the Premier of the Western Cape, earlier during our last chat, saying that he will look into this, because it can only mean a health hazard as the Western Cape tries to curb this virus. I'm going to speak to a resident. First of all, Mama, sabulela ngexesha lakho. Kasixelele iqale nini le ngxaki and ayikatheni ngakasolveki?
2 months ngokamanzi amivaliwe. Ndingumuntu wenkamnkam andinamali. Ndiyamphilanga, kufuneke ndithenge amayeza. Ngoku ke ndile ndobhatala lo 250 bendinayo. Kodwa akakavulwa nangoku. Amanzi siwakhanga apha emaholweni.
Since kukho le coronavirus, nizihoya njani ingxaki zenu mhlambi zo sanitizer njalo njalo since ungekho namanzi?
Siyawakha ke ngolo hlobo siwakha ngalo, but ke sisebenzisa ijik ngohlobo na ungabona nansi phaya.
Okay.
Phaya ijik. Amanzi ogungxula etoilet wafaka ebhafini sibhafila kuyo wafaka phaya, and then awosela ke nanga siwathi nanga phaya embombusini phaya kitchen.
Ogqibela mama, ingathi ingxaki ekudala ikhona apha kwaLanga, uthini umasipala ngale ngxaki?
Hayi akathethi, asiqala sibhatala amanzi qha.
All right, to me, just basically, the lady of the house saying that her water has been disconnected over the past 2 months. She has to walk quite a distance away just to get water. She is a pensioner, and sometimes it is grueling on her to walk that distance just to get some water. She says she's grappling to actually make sure that she stays in good hygiene in order to curb this virus. I want to bring one other member of the public who lives in Langa. Mama kasixelele ingathi yonke into eyenzeka apha abantu ngathi abanankathalo ngale coronavirus.
iwes ulutsha lwethu like ebusuku bebecula coronavirus, uyabona kuhlekiswa ngayo. Thina ke sibadala and kuthiwa izapha kuthi iqala pha kuthi siyoyika sizivale ezindlini. Ubona ba naba sihleli nabo umntana uyataka aphume awubuye ekseni, and ntoni ijik ndimixa namanzi and akuthiwa kufaka inantsika ndifake teaspoon ye-bicarbonate nalo vinegar emhlophe, then ndithathe ilaphu iqhaga phandle, and then nantsika ne-handles ngokunjalo nezandla. So ezo zinto singabantu abadala silinde ila 30th ukuze sipeye, uyayiqonda? So kunzima nyani, kunzima kuthi.
All right, to me, very disturbing thoughts said by the lady, saying basically that a lot of the youth here are actually mocking and making this whole coronavirus novel to be some sort of a joke, like they're not taking it seriously. Some have been partying for long hours on the night and have since been on the streets, drinking at street corners. And when we came here in Langa, we also have to admit that there's a lack of police or military visibility. We only saw one officer, and it doesn't seem that that officer was actually on duty. That officer seemed to be heading to another area. So really disturbing scenes, and what we heard from these ladies regarding this pandemic.
Ronald, just a quick one from me. The people that you're talking to there are talking about a shortage of water and having to fetch water from far, and you very accurately displayed it for us by turning on that tap and absolutely nothing coming out of there. There's been a promise that there's going to be some kind of reprieve and relief that is provided by government, that came from national government, that those measures would be in place. Any sign of such measures in Langa?
Not at all, because the issue that people have been grappling with, this is not the only family. We could have gone to a lot of families to us, but obviously given the time that, or the limited time that we have, we couldn't. But just this week, there's been protests in Khayelitsha, one of the biggest townships in the country, regarding the issue of not having water. And we're talking about people who are actually ratepayers who don't have water. Now, just imagine Cape Town having one of the biggest in terms of capacity, in terms of size of population, in terms of informal settlements. Imagine how hard a seat they are, because a lot of them have to, a lot of people, they have to relieve themselves on the side of the road. You can drive down the N2 close to the airport, and you will see for yourself. It's a really shocking and disturbing sight to see. So it's a real issue, and I hope for the sake of us as South Africans to try and curb this virus, that it is an issue that is addressed not only for during the lockdown, but certainly going ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on there. Ronald Masinda, live for us from Langa there. And that conversation